This is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, often assisted of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and the stars, as if we were villains by necessity, as fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and traitors by a spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, adulterers, by the enforced obedience of planetary influence, and all that we are evil in, by a divine thrusting arm. Oh, an admirable evasion of whoremaster man. That's to lay his goatish disposition on the charge of a star.
That is a monologue from William Shakespeare's King Lear. It's actually a monologue by Edmund. It sounds great, but what does it mean? Well, have you ever heard the phrase, "It is what it is"? Or "it was meant to be"? Or "it was written in the stars"? I could go on and on with phrases and sayings that are often used to excuse us from our potential. That's what that monologue is saying. Instead of taking responsibility for our own futures or our own behavior and realizing just how powerful we all are, we often forfeit all of that power to some sort of predestined circumstance or a star. And I know this to be true because for years I often blamed my circumstances as the reason I didn't go after my dreams. I'm not smart enough. I don't fit in. I don't have enough money. I don't know the right people. I'm from the west side of 7 Mile in Detroit. I can't start a Shakespeare company. And that's just the way that it is. I am who I am. It was easy for me to just accept things as they were because let's face it, it's not easy to go after your dreams or after your heart's desire. As one quote from King Lear reads, it's
all dark and comfortless.
King Lear, by the way, is Shakespeare's tragedy about the insane king of Britain. The wreath of weeds and wildflowers on his head represent his insanity. But I question what sanity means. Perhaps a little bit of insanity is needed to go after your dreams because there is nothing simple and there's nothing comfortable about it. But the possibility of your dream coming true, the possibility of my dream coming true and having a Shakespeare company in my hometown and having someone show up to see a play, even if it was just my mom, was reason enough for me to go a little insane and go after my dreams. And that's what I did. I lost my mind, and in 2012, I started a fiscal plan for a Shakespeare company. I went even a little bit more mad, and I started pitching the idea all around town. That eventually led to our first show, Othello, at Grand Circus Park. And more than my mom showed up. There were 499 other people there as well. People from all races, ages, backgrounds, experiences, varying economic statuses, people from the city, people from outside the city, they were all there. That became the catalyst for Shakespeare in Detroit. We went on to perform Antony and Cleopatra at Recycle here this past March. This past summer, we performed A Midsummer Night's Dream and Romeo and Juliet throughout the city in various locations. It's been quite an entrepreneurial journey. But people often ask me, when did my journey with Shakespeare begin, or when did I fall in love with the Bard? Well, that happened a long time ago. Well, not that long ago. When I was 8 years old and I couldn't listen to rap music. My parents were pretty strict, and my mom hated rap. She's looking at me right now like, still do. But I was in my room, and I thought I was being sneaky and listening to some song really, really low, but moms hear everything because they have mom ears or whatever. So she knocks on my door, and she has this really large, old, smelly book. It smelled like an old book, if you know what that smells like. And she handed it to me, and she said, if you like lyrics so much, read this. And that book was the complete works of William Shakespeare, and I hated it. At first. Eventually, over the years, that love, or that hate, turned into love, and before you knew it, I was in love with everything. From iambic pentameter to verse, from his comedies to his tragedies, even though I'm a little morbid, so I tend to love the tragedies most. But when I think about that moment in my life, being that little girl from the west side of 7 Mile in Detroit, I realized that if I wasn't that little girl, I wouldn't have a Shakespeare company today. I wouldn't have had that moment of being caught by my mom listening to some rap song and having her gift me with that big old smelly book. Every external circumstance of my life helped frame the person that I am today. The external is just a figment of our perception's imagination. How much money we have, how much money we don't have, if we fit in or not. It's all in our heads. As one of my favorite quotes from another Shakespeare play, Hamlet, reads, there is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So, what happens after insanity? I was insane enough to start my Shakespeare company. Where does that leave me today? Well, I'm still going after my dreams ferociously. It takes a lot of time to build a world-class Shakespeare company, but I can feel the momentum. And that's what keeps me going. In the latter part of Lear, he's completely lost his mind at this point, and he says,
there's life in it. Come! And if you get it, you shall get it by running!
If you want something, go get it. There is a chance that you'll reach it, but you have to run. I am so happy to be here. I am living, breathing proof that dreams come true. 500 people came out to see this little girl from 7 Mile's first play at Grand Circus Park. We've engaged with nearly 3,000 people in only a year's time. And I'm standing here on the Detroit Opera House stage, which is home to one of my idols, David D. Chiera, who has done with Michigan Opera Theater what I aspire to do with Shakespeare in Detroit. Dreams come true. So while it may seem a bit crazy to let go of what is comfortable, and it may sound a bit insane to let go of what is simple, but doesn't it sound even more insane not to? I'm Sam White. My Lear today was Peter Knox. We are Shakespeare in Detroit. Thank you.